Excuse me, I believe the help entrance is in the back. Plaza Hotel, Manhattan. Catherine Whitmore, Billionaire's sister, sees a black man in the ballroom. She assumes he's staff. She blocks his path, smiles, points to the service entrance. The man is wearing a suit, a nice suit. But Catherine doesn't notice that. She only sees his skin color. "Someone should have told you about the dress code," she adds, louder this time, making sure people hear. 150 guests turn to watch. 8 people start recording. The man responds calmly. "I'm Harrison Edwards, Tech Bridge Solutions. I'm on your guest list." Catherine's smile freezes. Harrison Edwards, CEO, $800 million company, self-made billionaire, the man she just called the help. That night, that exact night, her family's $2.4 billion empire will collapse. FBI will raid her building at 3:42 a.m. before sunrise. This is the story of those 10 hours. November 15th, 6 p.m., Manhattan. The calm before everything changes. Sarah Bennett sits in her Brooklyn apartment staring at her laptop. The document title reads, "The Pattern: How Whitmore Capital Silenced Black Entrepreneurs." 45 pages, 6 months of investigation, every fact verified, every source protected, 4 victims interviewed on record, NDA payments documented, email trails preserved, board minutes obtained through channels she'll never reveal. The article has been ready for 2 weeks. Sarah is waiting for the catalyst that transforms investigation into breaking news. Her phone sits beside the laptop. She checks it. Nothing yet. 3 hours ago, her editor called. "Sarah, you've been sitting on this for 6 months. When do we publish?" "Tonight," she said. "Catherine Whitmore will be at the Plaza Gala. Harrison Edwards will be there too. Something will happen." Journalism isn't about feelings. Sometimes intuition and evidence point the same direction. Across the city at FBI field office, Special Agent Rachel Morrison reviews a thin file. Whitmore Capital, preliminary investigation. Opened 2 weeks ago after an anonymous tip mentioned offshore irregularities. Potential securities fraud. But tips are abundant. Evidence is scarce. Without public pressure, cases dissolve quietly. Morrison's supervisor asked this morning, "Worth pursuing?" "If it becomes public, yes," Morrison said. "We need a catalyst." At SEC headquarters, an analyst reviews a separate file 4 months old. Whitmore Capital on their radar since spring. Offshore subsidiary Meridian Capital. Undisclosed transactions totaling roughly $180 million. But the board stonewalls every inquiry. Without external pressure, SEC moves slowly. The analyst's memo sits in drafts. Recommend formal investigation if public pressure emerges. In Jersey City, Alan Cooper sits at his kitchen table holding a USB drive. Label reads, "Whitmore Evidence Full." Buried inside, 2,834 files. Every email sent through Whitmore Capital's servers over 5 years. Every transaction logged. Alan has worked for Whitmore 12 years. IT director. Invisible employee who maintains servers and never causes problems. Loyal, quiet. 3 weeks ago, Catherine Whitmore fired a junior analyst publicly, humiliated him in front of 40 colleagues for a mistake that wasn't his fault. Alan watched it happen. Something inside him broke. He copied the servers that night, encrypted everything, drafted an email to federal authorities and newspapers. The email sits in drafts, waiting. On the Upper West Side, 4 men exchanged texts in a private group chat named The Pattern. Devin Taylor types, "Tonight's the night. If Catherine does to Harrison what she did to us, we go public. All 4 of us. Agreed?" Julian Brooks, "Agreed." Terrence Hayes, "Done waiting." Isaiah Washington, "Let's end this." They've coordinated for 2 months. 4 victims, 4 NDAs signed under duress. 4 men who chose silence because speaking seemed impossible. At the Plaza Hotel, guests begin arriving. Champagne. Conversations. Catherine Whitmore near the entrance playing hostess. She doesn't know that across the city, pieces are moving into position. Every element needed to destroy her is ready, just waiting for someone to light the match. Harrison Edwards adjusts his tie in a town car heading toward Plaza. He doesn't want to be here, dislikes these events, but TechBridge Solutions needs visibility. So he goes. Professional. Composed. He checks his phone. 7:28 p.m. 2 minutes until everything changes. 7:30 p.m. Harrison Edwards enters the Plaza Hotel ballroom. The air smells like lilies and expensive perfume. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light. String quartet plays Mozart. 150 guests mingle. The people who fund New York. Harrison walks toward the entrance. Calm. Professional. Catherine Whitmore sees him approaching. She's standing near the doorway holding champagne. She steps forward, blocks his path. "Excuse me," she says. Her voice carries, loud enough for 12 people to hear clearly. "I believe the help entrance is in the back." Silence drops. The quartet continues playing, but conversations stop. Heads turn. 150 faces watching. Harrison doesn't flinch. "I'm Harrison Edwards, TechBridge Solutions. I'm on your guest list." Catherine smiles. The smile doesn't reach her eyes. "Oh, well, someone should have mentioned the dress code more explicitly to you." The insult isn't subtle. It's surgical. Harrison scans the room. Amanda Green stands 10 feet away. Venture capitalist. Her phone is raised, recording. Her face is pale. Troy Sullivan, board member, is also recording. Denise Harper, major donor, stares but remains silent. Not one person speaks up. Harrison takes a slow breath. "Enjoy your evening." He walks past Catherine, composure intact. But inside something crystallizes, not rage, just clarity. He finds a table, sits. The room gradually returns to normal. Conversations resume. The moment passes. For most people, it's already forgotten. But across the room, Amanda Green is texting frantically. Troy Sullivan is uploading video. 6 other guests are reviewing footage. Near the catering station, Alan Cooper, working the event as part-time staff, has recorded every word on a device hidden in his jacket. 7:31 p.m. The spark is lit. 7:32 p.m. Sarah Bennett receives a text. "It happened. Sending video now." 7:33 p.m. Sarah clicks publish on her article. 7:34 p.m. The 4 victims see the signal. Go. 7:35 p.m. First video uploads to Twitter. 10 hours until FBI. 7:37 p.m. Troy Sullivan uploads the video to Twitter. Caption: "This just happened. 2024. At a Manhattan charity gala. I watched. I said nothing. I'm ashamed. But I'm recording now." The video is 11 seconds long. Catherine's voice is clear. Harrison's response is dignified. The silence afterward is devastating. 7:42 p.m. 4,000 views. Comments exploding. 7:48 p.m. Someone identifies Harrison Edwards. "That's Harrison Edwards, TechBridge CEO, worth $800 million. MIT grad. Self-made. He's not help. He's more successful than she'll ever be." Someone else identifies Catherine. "Catherine Whitmore, COO, Whitmore Capital. $2.4 billion family company. Old money. Older racism." A hashtag forms, Plaza Humiliation, 8 p.m. The hashtag is trending number 3 nationally. 2.3 million tweets in 30 minutes. Video views exceed 8 million across all platforms. 7:52 p.m. Someone discovers Sarah Bennett's article. Published at 7:32, just 90 seconds after the incident. The timing seems impossible, but the article exists. 45 pages. I've meticulously documented. A tweet goes viral. Wait, Financial Chronicle published a full investigation into Whitmore Capital. 45 pages. This happened before, multiple times. Sarah's article reveals everything. 4 previous victims, all black founders or executives, all offered money for silence. $340,000 in 2019, $580,000 in 2021, $1.2 million in 2022, $890,000 in 2023, a pattern spanning 5 years. The article includes evidence, emails between Catherine and Whitmore's general counsel. Subject line, Catherine situation, 3rd instance. The counsel's recommendation, settlement in the $500,000 to $800,000 range. This brings total to 3. 3, not 1, not 2, 3 incidents before tonight. 8:15 p.m. Every major news organization cites the investigation. CNN. Breaking, pattern of discrimination alleged at Whitmore Capital. MSNBC, gala incident not isolated. Documents show. Harrison Edwards sits alone at his table. His phone vibrates constantly. 400 text messages, 150 missed calls, PR team begging for statement, lawyers counseling silence. He ignores everything. 8:15 p.m. Sarah Bennett texts him directly. Harrison, I'm Sarah Bennett from Financial Chronicle. I have 4 other victims ready to stand with you at 9 p.m. tonight. Will you signal your support? 1 tweet. Harrison reads the message 3 times, thinks for 4 minutes, then types, I was there. The video is accurate. To the 4 men Sarah Bennett interviewed, I stand with you. You're not alone anymore. This ends tonight. He posts at 8:27 p.m. The response is instant. 50,000 retweets in 90 seconds. At Whitmore Capital headquarters, crisis response team convenes emergency call. James Whitmore, Catherine's brother and the company's CEO, reads a draft PR statement. Ms. Whitmore regrets any misunderstanding and... He stops reading. This is worthless. There are 8 videos from 8 angles and a 45-page investigation with documentary evidence. What are we denying? Silence on the conference line. Get Catherine on the phone. Immediately. Catherine remains at Plaza in a private room. Her phone shows 89 missed calls from James. She opens Twitter, sees her name trending, sees Plaza humiliation trending above it, sees the video approaching 2 million views. She texts James, I can fix this. His response arrives within seconds. You can't. Come home now. Emergency board call 11 p.m. 8:30 p.m. Harrison's tweet has 400,000 retweets. Sarah's article has been read by 250,000 people. The hashtag has 3 million mentions. This is no longer about one incident at one gala. This is about systemic behavior, about power protecting itself, about victims silenced with money. And at 9 p.m., 4 men are going to break their NDAs, going to tell their stories, together, simultaneously, with receipts. Catherine Whitmore doesn't understand yet that her empire is already gone. The destruction just hasn't reached her yet. 8:30 p.m., 90 minutes since the insult. 6.5 hours until FBI. 8:35 p.m. In the group chat named The Pattern, 4 men prepare to change their lives. Devin Taylor types, Twitter threads ready? Julian Brooks, ready. 18 tweets pre-written. Terrence Hayes, ready. 22 tweets. Isaiah Washington, ready, including the NDA amount, every dollar. Devin Taylor, 9 p.m. exactly. We post simultaneously. Agreed? 3 responses arrive. Agreed. 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 They've rehearsed this. Each thread is pre-written, each piece of evidence uploaded and waiting. 2 months of coordination, 2 months building courage. Breaking an NDA isn't trivial. It's legal risk, financial risk, career risk. But staying silent? That's soul risk. 8:50 p.m. Someone at Whitmore Capital screenshots the company's internal Slack channel and posts it publicly. The screenshot shows a conversation from 30 minutes earlier. Catherine to PR team. Make this disappear. Sue everyone who posted that video. Defamation. Immediately. PR lead responds, Catherine, we can't sue 8 million people. Catherine. Then sue Harrison Edwards. $50 million. General Counsel. Based on what grounds? The video is authentic. Catherine replies in all caps, I don't care. Make it stop. The leaked screenshot goes viral immediately. Public opinion, already hostile, transforms into something harder. This isn't just about one racist comment. This is about impunity, about power protecting itself. 9 p.m. exactly. 4 Twitter threads post simultaneously. Devin Taylor's thread begins. In 2019, I was 28. I pitched my fintech startup to Whitmore Capital. Catherine Whitmore called my company too urban in front of 12 investors. When I objected privately afterward, I was offered $340,000 to sign an NDA and never speak of it again. I was broke, scared, young. I signed. Tonight, I break that NDA. Here's why. Thread 118. He includes screenshots. The NDA document with Whitmore Capital's signature visible. Bank statements showing the payment in 3 installments. A photograph of himself from 2019, younger, hopeful, not yet broken. Julian Brooks posts simultaneously, 2021. Catherine Whitmore questioned my pedigree during a board meeting. 40 people in that room. 0 defended me. 2 days later, Whitmore's general counsel called. $580,000 plus a gag order. I stayed silent for 2 years while she did this to others. Not anymore. Thread 115. His thread includes email evidence, messages from Whitmore's attorneys, settlement offer language, sworn statements from 2 people who attended that meeting. Terrence Hayes posts 22 tweets. He describes the incident in detail. Catherine laughing at his accent, making a joke about where he learned to speak English, the room going silent, his humiliation, settlement offer 48 hours later, $890,000. You can't buy dignity, he writes. You can only sell it. For 2 years, I convinced myself $890,000 was enough money to move on. But it wasn't. Every time I saw her name in the news, I felt sick, not because of what she did, but because I let her pay me to forget. Tonight, I'm buying my dignity back. Isaiah Washington's thread is most detailed. He includes the complete NDA, every clause, every threat, $1.2 million in exchange for permanent silence. But he also includes text messages he saved, messages between him and other Black founders in 2022, warning them privately. Don't take meetings with Catherine Whitmore, he texted one founder. Trust me. He writes, I stayed silent publicly, but tried to protect others privately. Tonight, I'm done with half measures. $1.2 million. That's what Whitmore paid me in 2022 to stay quiet. I took it. I'm ashamed. But watching Harrison Edwards stand there tonight with grace I couldn't find, I realized silence is complicity. Here's everything. 9:02 p.m. All 4 threads are live. Twitter explodes. 9:05 p.m. LeBron James tweets, just read all 4 threads. This is systemic racism in 2024. Not loud, not violent, just expensive. 9:06 p.m. Trevor Noah, 4 men, 5 years, $3.1 million in hush money. And she did it again last night. 9:07 p.m. A United States Senator tweets, SEC must investigate immediately. Pattern of hush money combined with financial irregularities equals fraud. I'm calling for congressional hearings. That tweet changes everything. Political pressure moves federal agencies. 9:12 p.m. Sarah Bennett amplifies. I spent 6 months verifying every detail in these accounts. These 4 men showed immense courage. But this isn't just about discrimination. My investigation found evidence of financial irregularities, securities violations. More coming soon. She's planting seeds, because racism is reprehensible but not usually criminal. Securities fraud? That's criminal. That brings federal investigators. 9:15 p.m. The 4 threads combined have been retweeted 200,000 times. $3.1 million. 4 victims. 5 years. 1 pattern. 9:18 p.m. Whitmore Capital issues a statement. Every word approved by lawyers. Every word a mistake. Whitmore Capital categorically denies any pattern of discriminatory behavior. These allegations appear false and coordinated. We intend to pursue all available legal remedies, including breach of contract claims. The statement survives 90 seconds. They're threatening to sue the victims again? 9:25 p.m. CalPERS, the California Public Pension Fund with $180 million invested, tweets, "We are immediately reviewing our investment position in light of these serious allegations." 9:30 p.m. After-hours trading shows Whitmore Capital stock down 20%, from $42 to $33.50. $490 million evaporated in 90 minutes. Devin Taylor sits in his apartment watching his phone explode. 50,000 retweets. Hundreds of supportive messages. He's crying. Not from sadness. From relief. Julian Brooks is with his family. His wife holds his hand. His children sleep upstairs. He doesn't regret this. Terrence Hayes reads every comment. People calling him brave. He doesn't feel brave. He feels exhausted. But also, for the first time in 2 years, he feels clean. Isaiah Washington posts one final tweet. To whoever leaked that Slack conversation, thank you. To the journalists, don't stop. To Harrison Edwards, we stand with you. To anyone else silenced by money and fear, you're not alone. 9:30 p.m. 2 hours since Catherine spoke. 4 victims have broken their silence. The receipts are public. But the biggest explosion hasn't happened yet. Because at 9:45 p.m., a man who has worked at Whitmore for 12 years is about to press send on an email that brings federal agents running. His name is Alan Cooper, and he has everything. 9:32 p.m. Alan Cooper sits at his kitchen table in Jersey City, staring at his laptop. The USB drive rests beside his coffee mug. He's been watching Twitter for the last hour. Watched the videos multiply. Watched Sarah's article spread. Watched 4 men break their NDAs and reclaim their voices. Watched the courage it required. The freedom that followed. Something inside Alan shifts. He's worked for Whitmore Capital for 12 years. It director. The invisible employee who sees everything and says nothing. Loyal, quiet, reliable. But 3 weeks ago, Catherine Whitmore fired a junior analyst publicly, in front of the entire department, for a mistake that wasn't even his. She humiliated him, destroyed him. The analyst quit the next day. Alan watched it happen. Watched someone powerless crushed by someone powerful simply because she could. That night, Alan went home and did something he'd never done. He copied the servers. Every file, every email, every transaction from the past 5 years, 2,834 files total. He encrypted them, drafted an email to federal authorities and newspapers, but didn't send it. Scared, knowing that clicking send would end his career, end his financial security. Tonight, watching 4 men choose courage over safety, Alan makes his choice. 9:40 p.m. He opens the draft email, reads it one final time. My name is Alan Cooper. I am the IT director at Whitmore Capital, employed for 12 years. I am providing you with complete server backups containing 2,834 files. These files show 1. Systematic pattern of discrimination and corporate cover-up. 2. Securities fraud via undisclosed related party transactions through offshore subsidiary Meridian Capital. 3. Board of Directors complicity in both. All files are encrypted. Password provided below. I am prepared to testify under oath. I understand the professional consequences. He attaches the encrypted archive. 2.3 gigabytes, 9:45 p.m. His cursor hovers over send. He thinks about his career, his mortgage, his retirement, his reputation. Then he thinks about the junior analyst whose career Catherine destroyed for sport. He clicks send. The email goes to 6 addresses simultaneously. FBI Cybercrime Division, SEC Enforcement Division, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Sarah Bennett. Alan leans back, exhales slowly. For the first time in 3 weeks, his chest doesn't feel tight. 9:47 p.m. At FBI field office, Agent Rachel Morrison's computer chimes. New email, high priority. Subject, Whitmore Capital. Full evidence, whistleblower. She opens it, reads Alan's message, downloads the encrypted file, enters the password, watches as folders populate her screen. Discrimination evidence, financial fraud, board communications, offshore transactions. She clicks one folder, then another. Her eyes widen. She picks up her phone, dials her supervisor. Sir, we just received a complete data dump from Whitmore Capital's IT director, 2,834 files, every email, every transaction, and he's volunteering to testify. How credible. He's been there 12 years. IT director with full server access. Based on what I'm reviewing, this is securities fraud, wire fraud, conspiracy. This is massive. Her supervisor doesn't hesitate. Call the federal prosecutor immediately. We're moving tonight. 9:50 p.m. At SEC headquarters in Washington, an analyst receives the same email, opens the same files, navigates to offshore transactions Meridian Capital. Inside, contracts, wire transfer records, board approvals, related party transactions totaling $180 million over 3 years. Every transaction approved by Catherine Whitmore and ratified by the board. None disclosed to shareholders as legally required. This isn't just bad governance. This is felony securities fraud. The analyst calls the director at home. Sir, we've been investigating Whitmore for 4 months. We just received the smoking gun. Full evidence from an internal whistleblower. This connects every suspicion. Prepare formal investigation announcement. We go public within 2 hours. 9:52 p.m. Sarah Bennett receives Alan's email. She opens the files. Her journalist's instincts recognize immediately what she's seeing. This is bigger than discrimination. This is RICO-level criminal conspiracy. She texts Harrison. You triggered something much bigger than you know. At the New York Times, 3 senior reporters are assigned to Alan's files. The managing editor sets a deadline. Initial story by 12:30 a.m., 10 p.m. The story enters a new phase. Celebrity amplification. 10:02 p.m. Oprah Winfrey tweets. She rarely uses Twitter, but tonight she does. I've read all 4 victim accounts. To Devin, Julian, Terrence, and Isaiah. Your courage will change lives. To Harrison Edwards. Your grace under pressure is a masterclass. 10:04 p.m. A prominent senator issues a formal statement calling for immediate SEC action and congressional hearings. That transforms everything. When senators demand SEC action, the SEC responds. The hashtag Plaza Humiliation is now trending #1 globally. 58 countries, 15 million mentions. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, Al Jazeera. 10:18 p.m. After-hours stock trading accelerates. Whitmore Capital drops from 33.50 to 29 to 26, down 38%. Trading halted twice for volatility. 10:20 p.m. CalPERS issues follow-up. CalPERS is divesting our entire $180 million position effective immediately. We cannot be associated with entities that tolerate discrimination or potential securities violations. 4 other major investors follow within minutes. Vanguard, BlackRock, state pension funds, everyone exiting. 10:25 p.m. Whitmore employees panic. Someone leaks internal Slack. Employee messages. Are we losing our jobs? My stock options are worthless. Where is leadership? 10:28 p.m. Alan Cooper makes his final move. He goes public. His Twitter account posts, "I'm Alan Cooper, IT Director at Whitmore Capital for 12 years. Tonight, I provided comprehensive evidence to FBI, SEC, and press showing systematic discrimination and financial fraud. I'm the whistleblower. I did this because silence is complicity. I'm prepared for consequences. But I'll sleep tonight for the first time in months." The thread continues. Why he stayed silent. What he witnessed. What changed. What evidence he provided. Within 5 minutes, 20,000 retweets. Within 10 minutes, someone creates a GoFundMe for his legal defense. It raises $400,000 in 30 minutes. People call him a hero, a patriot, the conscience Whitmore never had. 10:30 p.m. 3 hours since Catherine spoke. 4 victims have told their stories. 1 whistleblower provided everything. The stock has lost $900 million, and the night has barely started. Because at 11:15 p.m., Whitmore's board holds an emergency meeting. At midnight, Catherine gets fired by her brother. At 1 a.m., SEC makes their investigation public. At 3:45 a.m., FBI knocks with a warrant. If you're wondering whether justice can happen in real time, whether accountability is possible in the digital age, stay with me. The next 6 hours will answer that question definitively. 10:32 p.m. Federal prosecutor David Richardson receives a phone call at his Brooklyn home. He was preparing for bed. He's not going to bed now. "Talk to me," Richardson says. Agent Morrison's voice is urgent but controlled. "Sir, Whitmore Capital. We have a whistleblower. IT director employed 12 years. Just provided 2,834 files. Comprehensive evidence of securities fraud, wire fraud, obstruction. He'll testify." Richardson processes this in 3 seconds. "I need Judge Morrison's approval for a search warrant. If she signs tonight, can you execute by dawn?" "Yes, sir. Team is ready." "Give me 30 minutes. 10:35 p.m. Richardson calls Judge Patricia Morrison's clerk. Within 10 minutes, he's speaking to the judge. She's been watching the news. "Your Honor, I apologize for the late hour. Urgent warrant request. Whitmore Capital. Whistleblower with comprehensive evidence. Public pressure is extraordinary. Risk of evidence destruction is real." Judge Morrison has been on the federal bench 19 years. She recognizes genuine urgency. "Send the application. I'll review within 90 minutes. 10:40 p.m. At New York Times, 3 reporters work at maximum speed. The managing editor makes an executive decision. Publish 2,000 words by 11:30 p.m. Full investigative package can wait for Sunday. This is Pulitzer level, but speed matters tonight. 11:30 deadline. Make every word count. 10:48 p.m. Bloomberg Terminal sends an alert to every trader monitoring Whitmore Capital. The alert is deliberately vague, but traders understand subtext. Rumor: SEC preparing formal investigation announcement regarding Whitmore Capital. FBI reviewing whistleblower evidence. Source: anonymous federal official. The rumor isn't accidental, it's strategic leak. SEC wants markets to price in risk before official announcement. It works perfectly. 10:50 p.m. Whitmore Capital stock in after-hours trading collapses. $26 to 23 to 20.5. down 51% from yesterday's close. $1.22 billion evaporated in 4 hours. 10:55 p.m. Moody's credit rating agency issues alert, placing Whitmore Capital on review for downgrade. Concerns regarding governance failures, reputational damage, and potential legal liability exceeding insurance coverage. Translation: Whitmore's ability to borrow money is questionable. Credit lines might be pulled. Liquidity crisis possible. 11 p.m. Global Tech Ventures, Whitmore's single largest client, issues devastating statement. Effective immediately, Global Tech Ventures is terminating its advisory relationship with Whitmore Capital and withdrawing all assets under management totaling $450 million. $450 million, 19% of Whitmore's total assets, gone. 11:02 p.m. Whitmore Capital's senior leadership convenes emergency all-hands video conference. 500 employees. It's 11 p.m. on Friday night. Nobody wants to be here. James Whitmore speaks. His voice sounds tired. I know tonight has been difficult. Whitmore Capital has been in business for 40 years. We have weathered challenges before. Catherine has been placed on administrative leave pending. Someone unmutes. Administrative leave? She should be fired. She destroyed this company in one night. James tries to respond. I understand emotions are... Another voice interrupts. Our stock options are worthless. When do we get severance packages? The call descends into chaos. Multiple people talking over each other. Anger, fear, panic. James ends the call abruptly. We'll provide updates tomorrow morning. An employee posts in Slack afterward. Will there be a tomorrow? 11:10 p.m. 3 board members resign simultaneously. Their resignation emails leak immediately. Board Member 1. Effective immediately, I resign from Whitmore Capital's board. I was not adequately informed of the extent of these issues. I cannot in good conscience continue. Board Members 2 and 3 send nearly identical messages within 10 minutes. 3 of 9 board members, gone. 11:15 p.m. James Whitmore calls his sister. 47 times she's ignored his calls. Finally, she answers. Board meeting in 15 minutes, James says without preamble. Conference call. You need to be on it. I'm not resigning. Catherine. You're supposed to protect me, James. I'm your sister. James's voice turns cold. I protected you for 5 years. I'm done protecting you. He hangs up. 11:28 p.m., the New York Times publishes. The headline is devastating. Whitmore Capital, Discrimination, Hush Money, and Hidden Fraud. Subheadline, Internal documents show pattern of racist behavior, $3.1 million in settlement payments, and $180 million in undisclosed transactions. Byline, based on 2,834 files provided by company whistleblower. The article is comprehensive. Timeline of 5 incidents. Detailed accounting of NDA payments. Analysis of offshore subsidiary. Catherine's signature on every questionable transaction. Board awareness and complicity. Quotes from all 4 victims. Alan Cooper on record. 11:30 p.m. The article is shared 50,000 times in 5 minutes. Whitmore Capital stock, $18.50, down 56%. $1.34 billion destroyed in 4 hours. Catherine Whitmore sits alone in her apartment. Wine bottle empty. Television playing CNN on mute, showing her face. She whispers, "This isn't real." But it is. And in 15 minutes, her brother will fire her on a conference call that will leak to the entire world. 11:45 p.m. The Whitmore Capital Board convenes by emergency conference call. 6 members remain after 3 resigned. James Whitmore, Catherine Whitmore, 6 board members, general counsel, and somewhere on the line, someone recording everything. 11:47 p.m. James begins without pleasantries. Catherine, I'm going to be direct because we have no time. You need to resign tonight. Immediately. Voluntarily. No! Catherine's voice is sharp. This is a coordinated attack. Harrison Edwards, that journalist Sarah Bennett. A board member interrupts. Catherine, we've lost $1.4 billion in 4 hours. The New York Times just published 2,000 words backed by documentary evidence. There's a whistleblower testifying to federal authorities. This isn't an attack. These are consequences. I made one comment. One. James cuts her off. His voice is colder than anyone on the call has heard. One comment? Catherine, there are 4 other victims. $3.1 million in settlement payments, 5 years of documented behavior. Tonight wasn't the beginning. It was the end. James, I'm your sister. You're also the COO of a publicly traded company facing federal investigation. This board has fiduciary duty to shareholders. I have a duty to this company. Right now, you are a liability we cannot afford. 11:55 p.m. The General Counsel speaks formally. We need to vote on a resolution. Remove Catherine Whitmore as Chief Operating Officer effective immediately. Ban her from all company premises. Full cooperation with all regulatory investigations. The board members vote one by one. Yes, 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 with deep regret. Yes, yes. James votes last. I vote yes. The motion passes unanimously, 7-0. Catherine's voice cracks. You're all voting me out? Every single person? James doesn't hesitate. Catherine, you can resign voluntarily with some dignity, or you can be terminated. Your choice. Dignity? Catherine laughs. It sounds broken. You want to lecture me about dignity? I built this company with you. Everything I did for Whitmore Capital. You humiliated 5 people. You cost us billions. You signed deals with undisclosed conflicts, creating massive securities violations. You did this for yourself, Catherine. Not for Whitmore, not for family, for yourself. 12:02 a.m. The new day. November 16th. Catherine tries once more. Her voice is quieter now, almost pleading. So this is how it ends? My own brother fires me? On a conference call? While millions are watching? The world is watching because you gave them something to watch. Silence. 12 seconds. Every person on the call counts them. Catherine whispers, I'll sue you. All of you. I will burn this place to the ground. James responds, You already did. 12:04 a.m. The call ends. Catherine sits in her apartment alone. She screams. Her neighbors will later tell police they heard it through the walls. 12:06 a.m. Audio clips from the call hit Twitter. Someone recorded everything. Someone leaked it immediately. You're the COO of a publicly traded company facing federal investigation. You already burned it down. That 12-second silence. The clips go viral. Within 3 minutes, 100,000 views. Within 10 minutes, 500,000. 12:15 a.m. Whitmore Capital issues an official statement carefully drafted by lawyers. The board of directors has accepted the resignation of Catherine Whitmore as Chief Operating Officer, effective immediately. Ms. Whitmore is no longer affiliated with Whitmore Capital in any capacity. The company is cooperating fully with all regulatory inquiries. Translation visible to everyone. She was fired. We're abandoning her. 12:22 a.m. Catherine's personal attorney issues a counterstatement. Ms. Catherine Whitmore categorically denies all allegations of discrimination or financial impropriety. She is the victim of a coordinated campaign to destroy her reputation. She will vigorously defend herself and is considering all legal options. The public response is immediate and merciless. There are 8 videos. 4 people testified. 2,834 leaked files. The New York Times verified everything. 12:28 a.m. Pre-market trading opens for international exchanges. Whitmore Capital stock, $17. Down 60%. $1.43 billion destroyed. 12:30 a.m. 5 hours since Catherine spoke. She's been fired. Her family abandoned her. The stock collapsed. The empire isn't collapsing anymore. It already collapsed. We're watching the aftermath. 12:30 a.m. Most of New York sleeps. But three machines never stop. Federal law enforcement, financial markets, and the internet. 12:45 a.m. The Securities and Exchange Commission issues a press release. No announcement. No press conference. Just text appearing on their website in the middle of the night. Securities and Exchange Commission press release, 2024-189 SEC, opens formal investigation into Whitmore Capital Group, Washington, D.C. The Securities and Exchange Commission has opened a formal investigation into Whitmore Capital Group, Inc. regarding potential violations of federal securities laws. The investigation will examine undisclosed related party transactions involving offshore subsidiary Meridian Capital, potential material misrepresentations to shareholders, adequacy of internal controls and corporate governance, use of corporate funds for non-disclosure agreements unrelated to legitimate business operations. The Commission is committed to protecting investors and ensuring market integrity. The statement is bureaucratic, dry, legal, but every word is a hammer blow. 12:47 a.m. Twitter discovers the SEC press release. SEC just went public at midnight. Formal investigation. They couldn't wait until morning. A former SEC enforcement attorney tweets, "Midnight press release is extraordinary. SEC only does this when three conditions exist. Public pressure is overwhelming, evidence is ironclad, and risk of destruction is immediate. All three apply here." A white-collar defense attorney adds, "If SEC is investigating securities fraud, DOJ is almost certainly investigating parallel criminal charges. These run simultaneously. Expect federal indictments within 6 months." Stock futures react instantly. Whitmore Capital, $17 to $15.50, down 63% total. 1:05 a.m. Judge Patricia Morrison signs the search warrant. 45 pages detailing probable cause for securities fraud, wire fraud, and obstruction of justice. Evidence cited. Whistleblower testimony, 2,834 files, public statements from victims, expert analysis. Judge Morrison's signature is dated 1:05 a.m. November 16th. Warrant approved. Execute at earliest safe opportunity. 1:08 a.m. Agent Rachel Morrison receives confirmation. She briefs her assembled team. 12 agents, 3 forensic accountants, 2 IT specialists, everyone wearing FBI raid jackets. "We execute at 3:45 a.m., Morrison says. "Standard dawn raid timing. Target is Whitmore Capital headquarters. We're seizing servers, files, computers, all electronic devices. This will be front-page news globally. Every move will be scrutinized. We go by the book. Perfect execution." The team nods. They've conducted hundreds of white-collar raids, but never with this much public attention. 1:15 a.m. At Whitmore Capital, employees who remain are awake, watching their careers dissolve. 14 senior employees resign overnight via email. Their messages are nearly identical. "Effective immediately, I resign my position. Reputational and legal liability concerns make continued employment untenable." 1:40 a.m. LinkedIn becomes a digital exodus. Whitmore Capital employees frantically updating profiles. Former Senior Vice President. Former Director of Investments. Former Portfolio Manager. The word former appears 43 times in 40 minutes. Recruiters circle immediately. "If you worked at Whitmore Capital, DM me. Multiple opportunities available." 1:45 a.m. 2 more board members resign. Board Member 4. "I joined this board in good faith 3 years ago. I was systematically misled about the extent of these problems. I cannot in good conscience continue serving. Board Member 5. Upon advice of legal counsel, I am resigning to limit personal liability exposure. 5 of 9 board members have resigned. 4 remain. All terrified. All lawyering up. 1:50 a.m. James Whitmore sits alone in his office at Whitmore Capital headquarters. 2 a.m. approaching. Still working. Still trying to salvage something that cannot be salvaged. He stares at his computer screen. Stock ticker. Down 63%. Employee count. 340 reduced to 295. Board, 9 members reduced to 4. Client assets. 2.1 billion reduced to 1.6 billion as clients flee. His phone rings. His father's longtime attorney. James, you need personal legal counsel immediately. SEC will want to interview you. FBI probably will too. You're not just CEO anymore. You're a witness. Possibly a target. James hangs up without responding, puts his head in his hands. The company his father built in 1984. 40 years of work. 40 years of reputation. Gone. 2 a.m. Harrison Edwards sits in his Tribeca living room. CNN plays on mute. Chiron reads, Whitmore Capital faces SEC investigation following viral discrimination incident. His phone shows 2,000 unread messages. He hasn't opened any since midnight. He texts Sarah Bennett. Is this what justice feels like? Sarah responds immediately. She's also awake. Justice doesn't feel good. It just feels necessary. Harrison stares at that response. Necessary. Not satisfying, not victorious, just necessary. Like chemotherapy destroying cancer cells, like resetting a broken bone. It hurts, but the alternative is worse. 2 a.m., 7.5 hours since Catherine spoke. 5 board members have resigned. Catherine has been fired by unanimous vote. SEC has opened formal investigation. FBI warrant is signed. In 1 hour and 45 minutes, federal agents will arrive. The night that destroyed a 40-year empire is almost over, but not yet. 2:15 a.m. A major Manhattan law firm files a lawsuit in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Case number 24CV09831. Caption: California Public Employees Retirement System, et al. v. Whitmore Capital Group, Inc., James Whitmore, Catherine Whitmore. Charges: securities fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, negligent misrepresentation. Damages. Sought: $800 million on behalf of all shareholders. The complaint is 87 pages. It cites the New York Times investigation, the SEC announcement, the whistleblower evidence. A securities litigation expert tweets, Class action filed at 2:15 a.m. means lawyers worked all night. They smell blood. $800 million in damages could bankrupt Whitmore even before criminal charges. 2:45 a.m. Global financial markets open. Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore, all trading Whitmore Capital equivalents. The stock drops another 8% internationally, now down 68% from U.S. yesterday close. 2:50 a.m. The analyst downgrades arrive. Goldman Sachs. Downgrade to sell, price target $8. Whitmore Capital faces existential crisis. Morgan Stanley. Avoid immediately. Reputational damage is terminal. J.P. Morgan. Uninvestable. Recommend complete exit from positions. 2:55 a.m. The institutional investors execute. Vanguard sells entire position. BlackRock reduces exposure by 90%. Fidelity exits completely. State pension funds from Texas and Florida divest. Systematic abandonment across the financial system. 3:05 a.m. Outside Whitmore Capital headquarters, media crews begin arriving. CNN has been staged since 2 a.m. Now NBC arrives. ABC, Fox News, CBS, international crews. Someone tipped them. Standard FBI practice for high-profile raids. Show the public that justice moves swiftly. Cameras point at the dark building. Waiting. 3:10 a.m. Catherine Whitmore sits in her Upper East Side apartment. Lights on. She hasn't slept. Hasn't changed clothes. Her attorney left 90 minutes ago. Nothing more he could accomplish. Her phone is off. She can't look at it anymore. She drinks wine. Watches her building on CNN. Waits. 3:15 a.m. The internet remains awake. Is anyone else watching Whitmore HQ on CNN waiting for FBI? It's 3:15 a.m. and millions of us are watching an empty building. The digital age is surreal. 3:20 a.m. James Whitmore convenes one final emergency board meeting. 4 remaining members. General Counsel. All by conference call. FBI arrives in approximately 25 minutes, James says. We need final decision, full cooperation or legal resistance. General Counsel doesn't hesitate. Full cooperation. Anything else appears like obstruction. We're already facing securities fraud allegations. We cannot afford adding obstruction charges. A board member asks quietly, "What about Catherine?" James's response is ice cold. Catherine is no longer our concern. She's no longer affiliated with this company. She's on her own. 3:25 a.m. The board makes 3 final decisions. Hire crisis management firm immediately. Retain white-collar defense attorneys for all current executives. Prepare bankruptcy contingency plans. James thinks about his father, about legacy, about 40 years evaporating. 3:30 a.m. Final market snapshot. Whitmore Capital stock, $14.50, down 65%. Market capitalization, $2.4 billion reduced to $829 million. $1.57 billion evaporated in 8 hours. 3:40 a.m. The sky begins to lighten at the horizon. Not sunrise, but the first hint. The promise that night eventually ends. 4 black SUVs turn onto Broadway, headlights cutting through darkness. Yellow FBI letters visible even from blocks away. CNN cameras capture everything. The final act begins. 3:42 a.m. The FBI SUVs pull up directly in front of Whitmore Capital headquarters. 12 agents exit vehicles simultaneously. Yellow FBI letters on blue jackets catch streetlights and camera lights. The sky remains pitch black. Stars still visible above the city. CNN films everything live. 3:44 a.m. Agent Rachel Morrison approaches the main entrance. The overnight security guard sees them coming. His face goes pale. "Can I help you?" Morrison presents the warrant. 15 pages. Federal court seal visible. FBI. We have a warrant to search these premises. The guard takes the document with trembling hands. "There's nobody here. Building's empty. We don't open until 8. "We'll conduct our search now," Morrison says. "Open the doors, please." 3:47 a.m. Agents enter. Lobby lights flicker on automatically. Motion sensors. Outside, darkness remains absolute. The teams split. Team 1, Executive Offices. Team 2, Finance Department. Team 3, IT Infrastructure and Servers. Forensic accountants head to the server room. Evidence boxes ready. 3:50 a.m. CNN's anchor speaks into camera. "We are watching live as FBI agents enter Whitmore Capital headquarters. It is 3:50 in the morning. The sky is completely dark. This is the climax of a night that began 8 hours ago with a viral video." The legal analyst adds, "Dawn raids are standard for white-collar investigations, but 3:45 a.m. is early even by FBI standards. This timing suggests real urgency." 3:57 a.m. In Catherine's former office, agents work methodically. Computer seized. Evidence labels applied. File cabinets opened. Every item photographed. Every box tagged. Evidence: Whitmore Capital investigation. Case: 2024-8831. 4:02 a.m. Server room. IT specialists work efficiently. Agent Morrison checks progress. How long? 3 hours for everything. You have 90 minutes. Prioritize financial records, email servers, and Meridian Capital offshore subsidiary files. The specialists type faster. 4:07 a.m. James Whitmore's car pulls up. He sees the FBI vehicles, the cameras. He takes a deep breath, walks inside. Morrison meets him in the lobby. James Whitmore? That's me. We'd like to ask you some questions. You're not under arrest, but you have the right to have legal counsel present. My attorney is en route. 20 minutes. We'll wait. Please don't touch any computers or files. James sits in the lobby, alone, watching federal agents dismantle 40 years of legacy. 18 boxes total carried to vehicles. 4:15 a.m. Pre-market trading. $11.50, down 73%. Bloomberg headline, Whitmore collapses 73% as FBI raids headquarters. 4:30 a.m. Agents finish. 18 boxes loaded. Servers imaged. Evidence secured. Morrison gives James final instructions. Do not destroy any documents. Do not contact Catherine Whitmore. Understood? Understood. The agents leave. James sits in the empty lobby. Clock reads 4:30 a.m. Outside, sky still black. But the empire has ended. 4:32 a.m. Across the city, the players sit in darkness. Catherine Whitmore, wine bottle empty, TV muted. She whispers, "This isn't real." Harrison Edwards, still awake. He texts Sarah, "I wanted respect. I got revolution." She responds, "Sometimes we don't choose what we start." Alan Cooper, finally sleeping. First time in 3 weeks. Career over, conscience clear. James Whitmore, company lobby, alone. Father's portrait staring. He whispers, "I'm sorry, Dad." 5 a.m. The numbers tell everything. Stock, $42 yesterday, $11 now, down 74%. Destroyed, $1.77 billion in less than 10 hours. Outside every window, still dark. But the empire? Gone. That night took everything. The sun hasn't even risen yet.